Hi to our executive MPA students. There are a few things that are a little bit different about your registration and your orientation and your program than there are from the other students who are in a traditional format. So I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk through what some of those differences are. Registering for classes. As you may have noticed when you started, we take care of registering all of our executive MPA students for classes. So before the semester starts, you'll receive an email from us asking you for permission to register for classes. We'll tell you the classes that are up for the next semester. Once we receive that email response, that reply from you giving us permission, then we'll register you for classes. Purchasing books and supplies. Of course, you can purchase your books and supplies from our college bookstore. A lot of our students will use third-party sellers like Amazon or something like that. You'll receive information about books that are required for your courses prior to enrollment or prior to the courses actually starting, because we're on these 7-week compressed formats. We want to make sure you give you enough time to purchase the books that you'll need for classes. It's also important to note that our faculty do try to use open source material as frequently as possible so that we can manage costs of attending school. So your typical day of class will look something like this. You'll arrive at the Riley Center. Breakfast is typically set up by about 8:30 in the morning. Your class will start at 9 o'clock. The faculty member who's teaching the class will offer a break, a periodic break here and there. Your lunch orders will be placed on Friday, so we'll reach out to you on Friday evening, ask you for your lunch order. It arrives on Saturday around noon. There'll be a break for lunch. Then when you come back, you'll finish up the afternoon and then depart for home. In terms of managing your week, we are, again, as we've mentioned before, we are on an express format. That means you will take a typical 14-week semester class in a compressed format in 7 weeks. So you'll want to be sure that you think about that as you plan on managing your week. Assignments are almost always due on Sunday night, so that will give you an opportunity to prepare during the weekend, prepare your assignments during the weekend. But the next week's module will launch right away on that Monday if it hasn't already started on that weekend. So in terms of planning, there is almost always an assignment due every single week and almost always on that Sunday. The reading is consistent with what we would expect at a graduate level. And so, and that's pretty much why we just do one class at a time and we don't do more than one class on those express formats. So you'll start a class, you'll take that class for 7 weeks. There'll be a day, I think there's a week off, and then your next class will start after that, right? So it's just continually every 7 weeks until you finish the degree program. There's a break in the summer, but pretty much every 7 weeks. Let me just show you a little bit about the Riley Center. So classes at the Riley, so the top, I'm looking at it, yes, so it'll be the same for you. Top left-hand side is the Riley at 176 Lockwood Boulevard in Charleston. Parking is available for students behind the building. You won't be ticketed on the weekend, so there's nothing to worry about. There's ample parking, plenty of places to park. You'll enter the building through the rear. The right top picture is a picture of the classroom. You can see that we have it already set up for social distancing, and the class is relatively small. There's 8 students in the class, so you'll be able to spread yourselves out if you're feeling uncomfortable about that. On the bottom left, what you'll see, there are vending machines, and so those vending machines actually are still full at this time, and they are still serviced. The counter there is where we'll have our lunch set up. There's a coffee pot to the left of that center island that will also be set up and available for students as well. And then you can see in the center, there's an open space that's available for students to have lunch if you didn't want to have lunch in the classroom. It's a very nice facility, looks out over the river. It's a very comfortable, state-of-the-art facility. If you look at the classroom again, you can see there's a little itty bitty whiteboard there, but Dr. Stewart just ordered another one. We'll have a big whiteboard available for classes. A couple of little things that I wanted to show you about just accessing some of the services that are available. So if you look at the top left, you'll see visiting the library. If you scroll across, that's our website, but if you scroll across the top, you'll see library. When you click on that link at the top of the web page there, you'll go right to the libraries. You can search for journals, you can search for books to see if they're available. You can have a book delivered to the Riley Center for you to pick up there. It's a fairly easy system to use as long as you're signed in, and if you're not signed in, it'll prompt you to sign in. Accessing OAKS is maybe just a little bit more challenging, but the same basic process, right? So you go to the home page, and then you click up on the top the My Charleston link. When you come to when it loads up onto My Charleston, they'll ask you for your login and your password. Once you log in, you'll see the top right screen, which will give you all of the options that are available to you. And you'll click on the little oak acorn icon that will take you to OAKS, which is a course management system. And for folks who have used course management systems before, like Canvas or Blackboard, it's very, very similar. And then once you click into OAKS, what you'll see is on the bottom right-hand side, and then I always click the tiles, and then that will give me the drop-down menus of the classes that I have access to for the semester. And for you, when you click that, what you'll see are the classes that you're registered for in that semester. So I know this was brief, and I want you to know that we're available to answer any questions as usual, but I wanted to talk just a little bit about some of the differences, like, for example, where the classes are going to be held, the fact that we register you for classes, that we also feed you during the program, and to remind you about the express format so that you're prepared you're prepared for the semester, and that you can budget the time that's necessary. Again, please always feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help and answer any questions that you might have.